Hello, everybody. Welcome to GameChangerz. I'm Mike Lonsborough, all alone this week, and we'll take a look at the CFL and who's who and who you could safely bet on. Okay, we start off with a matchup down the east of traditional rivalry, which has gone south because ever since the Toronto Argos have won the Grey Cup, they have vacated the premises. They're nowhere to be found. They are lousy. So why in the hell would you want to bet on this team? Even though they upset the BC Lions last week, there really is no indication you'd want to bet on this team. They're taking on the Ticats, even though the Argos are at home, and all those 1,500 people that will be watching it at home will be Ticat fans anyhow. So Ticats, I think, will win the East. They're ranked first overall in offense. They have 406 yards per game. Their defense ranks second, 325 yards per game. James Franklin will start for the Argos. He played very well in relief of Bethel Thompson in that game against the BC Lions. A surprise upset, really surprising because BC needs to win as they're still in the hunt. So Hamilton 7-7, the line is 7.5. Look for the Ticats to win this one. I think the most interesting game of the weekend is going to be on Saturday. 3 games on Saturday, and this will pit kind of the rivals of the Banjo Bowl late in the season. And it's a very important game for each team. Saskatchewan traveling to Winnipeg. They hate each other. 10-5 Riders. Bombers are 8-7. Similar teams because they both have pretty good defenses. They both have pretty good offensive lines. They both have questionable quarterbacks, in my opinion, and questionable receivers. They get everything done by committee as far as running back in Saskatchewan. Harris, of course, one of the best in Winnipeg, so that could be a difference. You look at that strong defense. The Riders have won 3 straight. 7 of their last 8 games. That offensive line has only given up 19 sacks. That's first in the CFL. The Bombers' advantage while they're playing at home, and that could give them home field advantage. Might make might make a bit of a difference. Our resident handicapper Tom Leslie says pick the Riders at +3.5 and take the over. The Red Blacks are sitting at 8-6. The Eskimos, a bit of an enigma. I can't figure this team out. With Mike Riley at quarterback, I thought they'd be way better than they have been. But really, they have too many turnovers, too many penalties. The defense doesn't play defense, and that offensive line hasn't protected Riley at all. This guy's getting a beating. And since they beat the Calgary Stampeders, they've lost 6 of 8. No protection. They've only scored 30 points in the last 3 games. This isn't a typical Mike Riley offense. The Red Blacks favored at 3.5. Give them 3.5. Take that one if you want, according to Tom Leslie. Some good things for the Red Blacks. You know, they got a rookie kicker. That Lewis Ward is awesome. He's on fire. I don't know. Andrew Harris is hot and cold. To me, I'd go with Edmonton, but Tom's going the other way. Edmonton might surprise you because they're at home, but the way the Eskimos are playing, it's like a lost season. Now, there's rumors flying around that BC is interested in Mike Riley after next year when he becomes a free agent. Don't forget, he played there under Wally before he was traded to the Eskimos. So lots of stuff going around. And, of course, Jason Moss, he looks a little unsettled. He loses his temper on the sidelines. I wonder if that's affected them at all. So anyhow, as they're heading down into the stretch, they're in 5th spot right now. The Eskimos are, and things don't seem to be improving, but they're still, I think, a team to beat at home. Tom Leslie says, take Ottawa. Then we have the last game on Saturday, and that's the BC Lions, who are up and down against the Calgary Stampeders. Really, since the Stampeders have lost to the Edmonton Eskimos, they've beat up on some pretty easy teams. They haven't played really well. I don't think they're hitting on all cylinders. Too many injuries at the receiver position, guys in and out. The defense looks good. They look good, but they were playing Montreal last week. That offensive line is brutal. They have given up 5 sacks minimum in the last 5 games. But Tom's going for the desperation part here. He's giving the Lions the nod, even though they're playing in Calgary. He thinks the Stampeders are hurt. They're not playing very well, and this game doesn't matter because they've already clinched home field advantage. 10.5 points. He says, take the Lions. Me, take the Stampeders because they're at home. 2 different approaches to that. Take the Stampeders. BC Lions right now, Jonathan Jennings hasn't impressed General Manager Ed Hervey. He said, Someone said to him, how would you rank him as far as some of the top quarterbacks in the CFL? He says, I don't know. He's never around the facility to give me an indication of that. So dissension seems to be running rampant in BC. There's our picks. Lots of luck. Please bet responsibly, folks. Have a good week.